Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm putting together my Project Life spread for the week of June 10th through June 16th, 2024, and I'm working with the Enjoy Story Kit. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so this week I'm working with the Enjoy Story Kit. So I planned this one out in the Enjoy Story Kit classroom. So I have more of a plan than I otherwise would for my spread, which is fine. Happy about that. This week I had a normal week for the most of the week, but then I went to Lake Placid for the weekend. So most of my photos and stories are from that. I'm just going to try to kind of lay these out based on my plan from the classroom. I don't normally plan most of my spreads in advance except for when I'm working with like a story kit or something. Otherwise, in Project Life, I tend to kind of just do what looks good or what works for me. I'm trying to see where I want to put all of these. Let's see this. But for this one, I had specific plans for certain cards and photos or cards. So I knew exactly how many photos to print. Let's see, I have these two from the week before going to Lake Placid, and everything else is from the weekend, which is totally fine. I'm happy to let the weekend take over the spread. And then I have these larger chipboards to put on my 4x6 photos. And then I think I want to put these ones on some of my photos, like staple them maybe like that. And then Enjoy It for this one. And then this story maybe on the picture of my friend's cat. So for the weekend, we went to Lake Placid from Friday through Sunday, and I have some friends that live up there, so we saw them. Fortunately, we didn't get any photos with them, which is fine. But then let's see, I want to put this one here maybe. Break this up a little bit, although I don't know that I love that. Maybe I'll put this one over here too. So I guess the rest of the week was just kind of a normal week. I went to work, stuff. I have this photo here. I'm gonna grab my tiny attacher actually. So I wanna see if these have plastic on them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I don't think these ones do. So it was just a normal week. So I do have this one photo from making grilled panzanella, which is one of my favorites. My favorite like summertime meals. And then I have this silly photo of Pumpkin. He was just being really weird and it was very cute. So I took that photo, and then I have everything else was from the weekend. So we spent Friday, we went to Lake Placid, we walked around, went shopping. Then Saturday we hiked up Whiteface and then visited our friends, and the guys played golf. And me and my friend went for a little walk around a local like trail with her dog. We got coffee, we browsed a bookshop, and we just like hung out. It was very fun. It was very nice to see them because I don't see them that much now that they live a few hours away. And we also talked a lot about Europe because we're going to Europe together to go see Taylor Swift this summer. So we were very excited and chatting about that. But I didn't grab a photo with them. I definitely will grab a photo with my friend when we are in Europe. So I will be able to add that in here then. But for now, these were some of my favorite photos from the trip. It doesn't capture everything we did, but I picked kind of a collection of my favorites. Because this spread was so planned, it's kind of just going to come together quickly here. I'm going to end up putting you guys on fast forward so I can do the journaling. But before that, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to include. So I had these two chipboard pieces on these two photos here. I guess I need to put my dates. I think I'm gonna put my dates on here, not on this photo of Lake Placid, because that could get confusing, because you would think then that the dates match when I was in Lake Placid. So let's see, this is the week of June 10th through June 16th. Trying to think, yeah, that's right. But it was only in Lake Placid for the last few days. Let's see here. So sometimes in my Project Life album, I will not use the actual calendar week. I will match a trip. So for example, for this one, I could have included the rest of the week with the prior week and then made this spread just Lake Placid. And that would be a way to not have like Lake Placid take over the spread. But when I was looking at my photos, I really just didn't have that many from the rest of the week that I wanted to include. I didn't have a ton from Lake Placid because we only went for a few days. So it ended up working out well to do it this way. Now let's see, I just want to see if there's anything else I want to add. So I have quite a few photos that don't have any embellishments. So I'm thinking I might go in my stash and pull out some word phrase strips and just do like stacked word phrase strips on a couple of the photos just to add something else. And then I'm going to put some journaling. I'm thinking, so this is going to be about the overall trip. This might be one specific story from the trip. This will be bullet points from the list, and maybe I will make like a list of things that I was enjoying this week on here. I'm not entirely sure, but you guys will see that in the fast forward. So let's go ahead and get to it.
Okay, so this one comes together super quick and easily. I almost felt like I shouldn't film this process because when I plan these layouts with the story kits, they come together so quick and easily, and really most of the time consuming piece is just doing the journaling. So I almost feel like a process video isn't warranted, but I do want to share it with you because I know that I have heard that some people still enjoy seeing even the simple ones, but that's something to keep in mind if you want this process to go a little quicker. Planning out like a page kit and sketching out your page in advance, it definitely makes the process much faster. And that's something I talk about in my Plan Prep Play class, which was released a couple years ago now, but is still definitely relevant. But I talk about breaking down your projects into the pieces that you can do when you're not at your craft desk, like planning out your layouts. Now, I do those at my craft desk because I usually film that process, but that's definitely something you could do even on your phone, or just like sitting, when you just have a little bit of extra time, you can definitely plan out your projects. Now, moving back to what I'm actually doing here. So you saw that I pulled over some word phrase strips from my stash. I pulled over a few white sheets, and then I found a green one and a pink one and just tried to select some colors that matched the colors of the kit or were close enough that they would coordinate. And I added stacked word phrase strips onto 3 of my photos across the middle of the page. And that's just one of my favorite ways to use word phrase strips to embellish in Project Life. Now I'm working on my journaling, which is really the rest of my spread. I have some extra journaling on the spread, more than I usually do because we traveled. So I have more to say about that trip. I don't know that I'm going to create a mini album, although I do have a lot of ephemera that I collected that I didn't use in here in case I do want to do one. Have been thinking about putting together a mini album that is specifically just all of our little like local-ish trips in probably all of them in the state of New York, maybe like Vermont or something as well. And just having like a little section for each place, including this Lake Placid trip. So stay tuned for that because I probably will be putting something together like that and sharing it hopefully later this year. On that larger 4x6 journaling card, I journaled just an overview of the entire weekend and kind of, what we did, where we were going, why, who we were visiting, all of that. And then on this card here that says enjoy, I'm specifically talking about our travels to the top of Whiteface, which is something we did Saturday morning. And I just decided to highlight that one specific story because I had a photo right here for it. And it just kind of, I felt like it warranted more highlighting, especially because the 4x6 card was more focused on visiting my friends, which was the main point of the weekend. But this was just a little like side adventure that we went on without my friends in the morning before driving to their place on Saturday. Then I'm moving over to the left-hand side of my spread. This Enjoy It All card I'm using to make a bullet point list of stories from the week. And I decided to focus on all of the stories that weren't from the weekend from Lake Placid. So these would be just other little things that happened this week. And of course, there's always some little stories, and I don't want them to get overshadowed by the fact that we traveled on the weekend. Two of the photos on this left-hand side are from Lake Placid because I just had extra photos from that weekend, but I do also want to include these smaller stories from the week. So I'm looking at my Hobonichi cousin off screen to kind of remind myself what stories happened this week and what I want to include. And then I'm using my Zig dot marker to create a bullet point. And then I'm using my favorite pen, which is a stays on, or not stays on, sorry, it's a mark on. It's a Sarasa mark on 0.5. And I have my favorite supplies all linked below. So if you're interested in picking some of these up, I do have those links. Pumpkin decided to come look out the window while I was working on the spread, so sorry for his tail there. And then finally, I'm doing my journaling on this card that says "So good." So I was trying to think about what else I wanted to journal about, and I was looking through my Hobonichi cousin. I didn't have any specific factual stories left from this week, but I decided to journal just a little bit more of a feelings-based story about how I've been feeling lately, which worked really well with the title of So Good because I've been just in a very good physical and mental place. So I thought it was great to have this opportunity to note that in my project life. And then I brush Pumpkin's tail out of the way. Then I'm going ahead and slipping everything into the pockets and calling this one done. Like I said, this was a very quick and easy spread that came together primarily focused on journaling. Was the only thing that really took me time because I had planned it all out in advance. Here's a look at that completed spread. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.